reality check, Gen X versus Gen Z. My name is Jenny.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we are diving into Sister Wives, season 19. Around 19. I always get confused if it's 18 or 19.
19,
Episode
episode
6.
6.
That's right.
You've got a newborn. You're good.
I'm tired,
You're
yeah.
tired.
So if you're new here, like most of you will be, we just kind of give our different generational takes on different topics. And right now we're doing Sister Wives, just the newest season that's coming out. So if you're a Sister Wives fan, you're in the right place. If you want to just learn more about Sister Wives and kind of the dynamics, then yeah, you're in the right place. Today we're going to be talking more about like the psychological side of things than we have in the past. So hopefully you guys will find that interesting. And anyway, should we just dive right in?
Let's dive right in.
Okay, so if you guys have watched the episode, then you'll know the very beginning, they start just kind of giving the recap of Christmases. So tell me your thoughts on the Christmases and how those went for each wife.
So the only real thing that stood out, I feel like they're at this point they were just trying to fill some things in. This is what we're doing for the holiday. It's very clearly different than anything they've had for, well, it's no different than what they've had for the last 4 years since COVID.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely different than what the family is used to. But the one thing that kind of stood out to me was Robin crying in the camera about how this is really hard for me. And that is one thing I've noticed about Robin in many of the episodes. She will say, this was just really hard for me. And this wasn't it. She goes, I just basically, how did she phrase it? It was more, I don't get to have the perfect Christmas. And so it again was about Robin, and it always has been, really. Like,
Yeah.
when she says, this is just really hard for me, I think, Robin, this is hard on everyone.
Yeah. Well, and she's like crying and she's super
Yeah.
upset about it. And other kids were like, yeah, I mean, this is different than what we did in the past, but this is just life now. This is just kind of the way things are. And it's like these young adults now, I mean, they're not kids anymore, right? They are the kids of the family, but they're young adults now. They have more maturity and like are able to, I don't know, just like accept, okay, this is what life is. Let's make the most out of it. And Robin is unable, I don't know what it is, but she's just unable to like get past that point of like, okay, mourning needs to end at some point. Let's just accept life as it is and make the most out of it if we can. I mean, even Cody, which doesn't really do a lot right ever, but like on like for Christmas, he's like, okay, well, I'm with Robin and the kids and we're going to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously he sucks because he's abandoning all of his other children, right? But like, okay, like here we are. Let's make the most out of our day that we can. And Robin is just like, she's just not capable of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I can relate to Robin in a sense. Like, that hurts my heart to say a little bit, but and I know we all can. If you're a mother, I look at like when you guys were little kids, and Christmas was chaos, and it was exciting, and it was a happy time, and then you grew up, and you got a little older, and Christmas changed.
Mm-hmm.
I will always and forever look back on those days of, we had 5 kids, ages 10 and under, and the chaos and excitement and the magic and people all around, and grandma and grandpa's coming over, and we going to cousins, and this big chaotic mesh of joy is really what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I get mourning that, because I do. It sounds weird.
It's your first Christmas as an empty nester.
I
Have
know.
you thought about that?
I sure as heck
Oh,
have.
that's
so
sad.
I'm inviting myself to your house.
Of course
right
you're invited.
now,
Yeah, of course.
because like, yeah, Dad and I are alone, and so I've had time to reflect a little bit on that. And so, being at a different point in life, you're just starting that. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna
I already do.
I know.
I'm like, I say all the time, like, I don't want more kids. I don't know that I could handle more kids. I have hard pregnancies. I don't know that I could do it again. But if I can just have kids forever, I want kids forever. Like, I don't want them to grow up. My son is turning 4 literally next week, and I tell him every day, you're not allowed. You are not allowed to turn 4. Like, I want kids forever. And
Yeah.
I do always tell myself, like, we need to enjoy every phase. Like the phase where we have toddlers and a baby, and then they're going to
It's
be
busy.
kids. And I want to enjoy every phase and not just be like, oh, I'm just sad it's over. You know, I want to
Exactly.
enjoy it all. But I do just like want it to last forever because I
Yeah.
can see myself, I'm already sad. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to end one day. Like,
Yes.
this is my last Christmas with like a newborn. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's just,
Yeah.
oh man. And I
It
mean,
is
I'm
sad.
like just starting it.
We're
So
still
I feel sad.
hoping. We're still hoping for vasectomy.
Yeah, maybe.
So.
Maybe. Who knows? Hopefully not.
Was that TMI?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully not. But
But,
yeah.
you never know. But no. So I can relate to the sorrow of Christmases past. Where I don't get it is Christmas has changed. Things are different. This is the fourth year of them being just them. And well, third year. I think it was the third year of just them.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin was kind of part of the reason things are different.
Yeah.
And so, like for us, kids grow up. That's why things are different.
Yeah.
For Robin, things are different because of choices that her and Cody made together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, so I'm sure she's sad, and it's probably feeling really final now that like Mary has officially like separated, even with it like in the church, and Christine's moved on and Janelle's moved on. Like, it's just so final now, and I'm sure she's like, okay, well, things that I were hoping for that we'd be able to fix just obviously aren't going to happen anymore.
Yeah. So Christmas, that was the thing. So the next thing on our list is Christine and David dating. I know you have a word to say.
I do have a word to say. Okay, I cannot. Okay, I should preface. I'm so happy for Christine and David. I want them both to be happy. I think Christine deserves to be happy. She deserves to be loved. She deserves to be head over heels for someone. She needs to never, ever, ever, ever again bite her freaking bottom lip the way she does. Like, somebody needs to talk to her. She's
sexy,
like, she doesn't either. Like, hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Okay, someone needs to have a conversation with her and say, stop it with the lip biting. Stop it. I cannot handle it. I was watching and I literally was like, I have to close my eyes till this is over. This is insane. Like, he knocks on the door and she goes, hi, baby.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, stop it. Be happy. Don't be a freaking weirdo. That's my word that I have to say about it.
That's the word. We'll move on from
crazy
that.
To me.
It was a little cringy.
Oh, it's icky. And then at dinner, when they're talking about it again, like they're talking about their love for each other. And again, she's like, why don't we just take this to the bedroom? Like, it's so hard to watch. Sorry, the dog is here thinking
Hi, Mac.
is just getting involved in everything. But anyway.
Okay, with that said, though,
it's too much.
It is a lot. And I feel like Christine, she got married young to a man that they like literally had zero physical contact.
The dog.
Did the dog come in?
Yeah,
oh,
he said hi.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I feel like she's never had love. And she is starved. Like David, the way he even, he said, oh, she was aggressive and desperate for affection.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. One of the things too, and I think it was in episode 4 where they just started about her talking about her dating David, and Christine made a comment that really broke my heart. Like, oh, poor Christine. And it was, I haven't had that conversation with him. I need to have that conversation with him. Like, are you attracted to me? Because Cody was so brutal to her and made it so clear that he wasn't attracted to her.
Yeah.
And David, where I am happy about it is David is attracted to her and he loves her and he is affectionate. He shows her. And I'm a physical affection person, like love language wise, like I'm a hugger. I love cuddles. I love like
physical touch is important for you.
It's important to me. And I feel that like at work, the first time, like when you're comfortable at work where like, okay,
You can get too comfortable.
You can get a little too comfortable, but that's
Not.
that's where I thrive. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so and so grabbed my butt at work, and it's like, we've made it.
We're friends now.
We're friends
like
now.
That's how you know that they love
That's
you.
how we know that they love me. And like, I love that. Like, to me, that's important. So
Yeah.
for Christine to never have felt that with Cody and to have that conversation with this man that she's dating.
Well, and that's obviously something that Christine really values is affection,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with David, she is extremely affectionate, and I'm so happy for her, and she's just so extremely happy in this relationship. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so like one of her main love languages is, it seems, is physical touch, and she wasn't able to receive that in a healthy way
Mm-hmm.
with Cody, and now
Yeah.
she's with David, and it's
Yeah.
really good.
And
It's cute.
David literally, like he said, when you see something good, like, because everyone's kind of giving him a hard time about how fast they're moving. And it's like, when you see something good, everything about you, he said, is you're perfect for me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't think she ever one time felt that from Cody. So while the lip thing was cringy, I
Oh,
100% agree.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree
I
that
feel
she
like there's
is.
more to it than I think it's her, like, I don't know.
She's like, how do I want him to think I'm sexy, and like I've seen this in a movie, so I'm gonna like do
Oh, it's just
it.
awkward. I don't know.
know.
So,
But let's talk about what you were kind of teaching me earlier about the way that Cody speaks about his previous
yes.
marriages with these
So,
women.
so I'm a school counselor, and one of the things that I learned in my education program was it's called cognitive distortion. So again, I am not a licensed therapist. I just like we learned some things in there and in that program. And cognitive distortions, they really are they're what we do in our brains that it's distorted. We distort reality. It's like going to the carnival and walking into the mirrors that make you look this way or this way. It's very
Mm-hmm.
um, it's really interesting. And we all have cognitive distortions. Every single one of us, we play tricks on our
Oh, no,
brain
I
plays
understood.
tricks on
Us.
us,
Right.
and we believe it. And one of the main things that you do with a cognitive distortion is you question it, question it, question it, and you put it on the table. You write it down. You kind of don't allow it to have that power. But one thing that as I've really watched just the last few years with Cody, I'm recognizing his cognitive distortions that he has left unchecked, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody has checked him on it. Like, even in episode 4, when he and Robin are talking, and she's really upset, like, Cody, talk to your children. Your kids need you. Talk to them. And he twists it, he turns it, and she'll say, I'm starting to like lose respect for you. And then she adds a little bit, because
Yeah.
she's protecting his ego, because he has pulled her into this distorted view of who he is and
Yeah.
his role in anything. And in that conversation, he even went as far as, in the end, saying, Robin, do you think this could maybe be because of what your dad did?
Yeah, that
Do you remember
was,
that? It had
yeah.
nothing to do with Cody,
No,
Cody's
of course not.
actions, Cody's behaviors. She
Yeah.
protected him by adding a little bit, and then he ended it.
He goes, well,
Yeah,
it's not my fault. I'm perfect.
yeah.
Well,
And
and I mean,
nothing changed.
it's the same thing. I feel like the way he talks about his relationship with Mary is he has convinced himself that he was never in love with Mary. He was never happy with Mary. But
Mm-hmm.
we have seen them be happy in their marriage before. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when Mary got that release from the church, they did this whole like montage of videos of like all of Mary and Cody's sweet moments together. And it's like, well, Mary is able to see the good that they had and the love that they did have in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody's like, no, we never loved each other. It was horrible from day one and
Mm-hmm.
everything sucked. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's because you are convincing yourself. I think it's the cognitive distortion. Like you
yeah,
have convinced yourself that
yeah.
this is the way it is, when that's not the reality of the way that it
No.
was.
And it's that particular one is called all or nothing thinking. You look at things in absolute black and white categories. The other one that goes into that is overgeneralization and mental filter. So with overgeneralization, you view a negative event as never-ending pattern of defeat.
Right.
And
Okay.
mental filter, you dwell on the negatives and ignore the positives. And
Which, yeah.
Cody, he'll look back on their marriages and things got really rough over the last 4 or 5 years. And instead of looking back on, oh, this was good and this was good and this was good, it was all bad. All of it.
Yeah.
I never loved any of these women. Ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever, ever. And that's again the cognitive distortion. And if it goes unchecked, it is mental illness at its finest.
Yeah,
Like
right. Which we can see in Cody
we can see in Cody.
very clearly. I
So
mean, you don't have to be a licensed professional to see in Cody, like, he is literally mentally ill and he has
yeah.
issues,
Well, and
you
even
know?
in that video, and we'll show a little bit of the video here, there is a part where he literally loses his crap. And it's like, it's your fault if I don't love you. It's your fault if I do love
Okay,
you.
we need to
And
talk about
and
that.
he stops and he pauses. Let's show that right here.
Okay.
And anyway, so it's yes, let's talk about that.
So, Mary, like, I cannot imagine. I mean, like, so Cody goes over to kind of have like this official breakup talk. And he completely, and I think like gaslight, like, oh, you gaslit me is like a very overused word. He gaslights her, like,
Mhm.
literally. And I know it's like therapy talk. We need to be careful the way we use these words, but like, he goes, well, why did you do this so fast? Why did you do it so fast? And it's like, how many times have you said you've never loved her? Like, why did you? And then this is where she says, like, why did you wait so long to tell me that you married the wrong person? And it's just horrible. And he's so disgusting and so
So
horrible
mean.
during this conversation where it's like, oh, no, it's your fault if I do love you. It's your fault if I don't love you. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's your fault if you suck and you're a jackass then. So let's talk
Yeah.
about that. But no, that's not a conversation because he's Cody,
He's Cody.
right?
It's Cody. I and I look at that and I just think, Mary, I just my respect for Mary just
No, yeah.
because she sat there and even the looks on his face of like just he'd get these dumb looks like he'd sit there and also with that though it's like what happened to make this conversation happen? What was the need? The marriage
Mhm.
was already terminated by the church. The divorce is it's final. It's over. And Cody's like, so where do we go from now? Where do we go from here? And Mary's
Nowhere? We're
like
done.
we're done. Like there was she was
Yeah.
confused, and he was like, oh,
He goes,
okay,
"Oh, so you're not gonna continue to fight for me like I've expected everybody to for the past 4 years?"
yeah,
It's like, dude, you have made choices. You have made her
mm-hmm.
feel so unloved and so
Oh,
stupid.
it's so
And I mean,
sad.
you've done that with your children. You've done that
Yeah,
with your other wives. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, what do you mean? Where do we go from
Mm-hmm.
here?
He was just in, and I wonder, like, part of me thinks with this conversation, TLC said, we've got to have ratings. And this is what the people want. And you're
Mm-hmm.
right.
It
That
is what we
is what we
wanted.
want.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a
You
necessary.
have something like right here.
Oh,
Got
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Where is that? That's
I don't,
weird.
I don't know if
Thank
that is. I
you.
got you. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's a really awkward thing because I don't think either of them really wanted to be there.
No, I know. It was totally like the producers are like,
We're doing
we're
this.
doing this. Like, we don't have much content right now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, Janelle's giving us everything she can.
we just did.
Christine's giving everything
Yeah,
she
we
can.
just
And
did
like,
20 minutes of Christmas, and now
like
we need
we need
we need
something.
some meat. Yeah,
Mary, we need you to kind of step in
And we need to
because
do the awkward things because that's what the people want to see.
that's what we want to watch.
I hear a
Yeah.
baby. Let's
I do
push
hear a
pause
baby.
and we'll
Okay.
get.
Listen, it's confusing from day one.
That's sad to me
What
that
do you mean?
that our relationship was so confusing. That our relationship was so confusing after the first year, the second year, the fourth year, or whatever.
I wish I wouldn't have ever married her. I married a woman that I just didn't love so much that I wanted to serve her. And then because whatever I did was never enough. This marriage was on the rocks the entire marriage. And how would I know that? Because I had such a better relationship with Janelle, with Christine, with Robin. And Janelle and Christine didn't survive. I should have gotten out of the relationship 25 years ago.
I don't know who this guy is. To say the things that he's saying now, this is not the guy that we were married to.
I wish you would have made your choice sooner.
My choice was always to stay. Had I wanted to leave sooner, I would have left sooner.
You don't get to be in plural marriage, with a leadership. Leadership will never allow you to marry again if you're discarding wives. Well, I was in terrible relationships, but wasn't willing to discard them, didn't want to discard them, didn't even know I was in terrible relationships. You don't know you're in a bad relationship. You just think you're in a normal relationship because all your friends have the same problem until you're in a normal relationship that has deep emotional intimacy instead of some people call it F and F and the second word is fight, or F and F and the first word is fight. That doesn't create intimacy. That just creates orgasms.
So we couldn't decide what to cut from that video because everything was so unhinged. Like Cody's little
Yeah.
fit in the beginning of like, I could never do anything right. Like
He's scary.
he's scary. It felt like, and such a disgusting human.
Yeah.
That last, the F and F. Okay, first of all, I've never heard of that, so
I don't want to talk about that.
let's
No,
not.
I'm just kidding.
I am appalled.
We can, but why? How did he get 4 wives to begin with? Because he is creepy, and the way he talks, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm scared of you. I don't want to know about that.
Well, and somewhere in the middle of this episode, when they were talking about affection, he goes, "Oh, I love being affectionate now." With, obviously he's talking about Robin, but she's a little more shy. Haha, and he's kind of laughy about it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And as I see this one clip, minute and a half-ish clip, I don't think Robin is affectionate to him. She feeds his ego, but I don't think there is nothing, if he is acting like that at all around her, and if she is seeing this, I would be like, nope, this has nothing to do with my dad. This has nothing to do with my past. This has nothing to do with any of that. You're a creep and you're disgusting.
But she won't.
I know, she won't.
She won't.
I might view this a little bit different than other people. I feel like Robin played a major part in the family falling apart.
Right.
I also think Robin is a victim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know. I think just like in the fandom world of this, like that's a pretty unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's definitely a victim. And just with that one thing in episode 4, do you think that this could be because of your dad?
Yeah.
It's like, what else does he say to her? That's like, just that whole thing was so unhinged.
Well, like speaking about like just intimacy and Cody and the way that he's acting in this clip that we just watched, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we all unfortunately are unable to forget her purity lesson. I wish we could, but we can't. Am I right? But like, this might be like this is going to sound very intense, and I want you to just like bear with me for a second. But I do think that sometimes purity culture can be like a form of sexual abuse, because then you never know what like a healthy sexual relationship is, because it's all about purity, purity, purity.
Mm-hmm.
And now her purity lesson, we learned a little bit about Robin and what that was like for her, and like how much shame she felt by, being intimate with somebody. And now it's like with Cody, it doesn't seem like it's healthy, because did Cody have a healthy sexual relationship with any of his wives? I would imagine no. It doesn't seem like he did, based off of Christine's needs, the way that he's talking here, where it's just F and F, it's creating orgasms, not intimacy. Like, it obviously wasn't healthy for him and Mary too, if what he's saying is true, which I believe. Why do I believe it? Because he's a psycho and he's just icky. And so it makes me feel like with Robin, well, she doesn't know what like a healthy, like she doesn't know what healthy is. And
No,
Cody doesn't care if it's
right.
healthy.
I agree 100%. And I know in that culture, it's about babies, 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 babies. Like, there may not have been any intimacy that, oh my gosh, there was that other thing where he does this whole roots, like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, everything about him is
icky
right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that religion it's all about having babies and procreating and having babies. And it's about the number of babies. It's not about the connection with those babies. It's not about the relationship with those babies. It's about have 500 babies.
Which also, like, and this was obviously so hard for Mary. And it's like, well, Mary obviously struggled in their marriage because of personality differences, but also because she felt worthless and Cody wasn't helping her.
No.
Because she was born and raised to believe she was just there to like have babies, and she wasn't able to do it. And it's like, okay, Cody's not being helpful or like empathetic towards her. And so obviously there's going to be rifts in that marriage. And so I don't know. It's just all like, it's just upsetting to think about, like, these poor women.
Well, and you think about that going back to it was in the early seasons where Robin has her baby and then offers to be a surrogate for Mary. And then it goes on this long, and when watching it, I was so annoyed. I was like, okay, enough. Mary has a teenager, and Mary was as guilty as anybody of dragging it out. But I also feel like that was also in her mind. Cody wants babies. Cody wants babies. Cody wants babies.
How can I make him happy?
How can I make
he's
Cody
not happy? Yeah.
And it was very sad to watch, very frustrating to watch. But it went on, and it was a lot of it was just, and then they went into the fertility doctor and all of that. And meanwhile, I'm like, Mary and Cody, find joy in each other and find joy in this child that you have together, who is a teenager at the time. They were a teenager, so
yeah,
it was sad. It was frustrating.
Yeah, it was really frustrating to watch, because as outsiders, we can see your whole worth is not dependent on how many children you have. We can see that from the outside. But I would imagine when you're raised the way that Mary was, and you're in this plural family where all these other women are able to have kids, you're like, I'm letting my husband down. I'm letting God down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting myself down. I can see why it would be really hard to just let that go and just be happy, because she probably felt like she was letting everyone down.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was a jam-packed episode.
We did kind of get off topic there.
We did a little bit. No, I think we did good. I'm like just making sure. And I think one of the things here was, Mary, when they were talking, and she said, nobody won here. There isn't a winner here. And there isn't. And I want to extend that. Like, Mary didn't win, Cody didn't win, Robin didn't win, Janelle didn't win, Christine, and not one of their kids.
Yeah.
Not one
Kristen's
of their
kind
kids.
of winning now.
Yeah.
I think they're all
Yeah, but
winning now.
I'm not saying they won. I think ultimately at the time they all wanted this to work.
Yeah.
Mary wouldn't have stuck around for 32 years if she didn't want it to work.
All of them stuck around
They
for a long
all
time.
stuck around for a really long time. And I think they wanted that to work. I think they wanted a united family. I think they wanted to be together. They wanted to raise their kids together. I think they all wanted to sit on that back porch, like Robin always talks about, in their rocking chairs.
Watching the grandkids run around on coyotes.
Yes. I think they did essentially. And
yeah,
none of them got that. Mm-hmm. Now that they're away from it, they all recognize what we were in was not good.
Except for Robin.
Yeah. For Robin, it was all good.
It was all perfect.
And it's hard to watch because I do think she is a victim. Mm-hmm. I also think she knew what was going on with these wives, but that is also kind of a product, I guess, what you would say of that culture. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to be the favorite. I mean, I think that's human nature a little bit. We all
want to be.
We all want to be.
How often do I say, I better be your favorite child? How often do I say that?
Semi-regularly, yeah. Yes. So I think that's human nature. We want to be the favorite. And if we're not the favorite, we want to be loved and cared for.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Robin, part of that culture is, I've got to perform and I've got to be all of this to this man. And I don't know, maybe consciously, so that I can be better than all these other wives. Because if I'm not better than the other wives, they're going to get him.
Yeah.
They're going to have him more. And
she got him.
And I don't think, she definitely didn't win.
No, she's like, frick, I have to deal with this guy all the time now. Great.
Yeah, so
anyway,
that was fun.
Really interesting episode. Can't wait for next week.
And
anyway, please like, subscribe, comment, give us your opinions and your thoughts on this episode.
Thank you.
Okay,
have a good week.
Bye.